Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Village, a novel by Mulk Raj Anand. The novel was published in 1939 and The Village is the first novel in the trilogue written by Mulk Raj Anand. The series begins just before the Great War, that is World War I, and it tells the story of Lallu Singh, a peasant in Punjab. This first novel describes Lallu's background, his family, and early years in his village. The second novel in the series is Across the Black Waters, which was published in 1941, and this novel follows Lallu when he joins the British Indian Army and crosses the sea. The final novel, The Sickle and the Sword, which was published in 1942, describes Lallu's experiences when he returns to his village and is also accused of being a communist. The main theme of this novel, The Village, is tradition and change, family loyalty, and British Indian Army. And the characters are Lallu Singh, who is the youngest of the three brothers and the protagonist. He is a restless and rebellious character who enlists in the army and goes overseas to fight in World War I. Nihal Singh is Lallu's 70-year-old father who works in a small plot of land. He is a traditional peasant who is opposed to change and reminisces about the glories of the Sikh nation, which was conquered by the British in the mid-19th century and which he defended as a soldier. Shyam Singh is 40 years old and he is the oldest of the three brothers. He also works in the land and is also, like his father, a traditionalist. He is married to Kesari. Dayal Singh is the middle brother and unmarried. He is described as large and powerfully built. He plays the peacemaker between his father and his brother Lallu. Gugri is Nihal's wife. She is a typical village wife and mother who nags her daughter-in-law Kesari, largely because she is a city girl. Kesari, wife of Sharam, suffers insults from other women in the village because she is childless. She is a kind and sweet-natured person. Kesari then becomes a widow when Sharam is hung for murder. Hercules Long is a deputy commissioner, a British official who organizes the village boys into scouts. Maya is the young daughter of the landlord whose innocent, playful relationship with Lallu causes the father to begin a campaign against Lallu's family. Maya encourages Lallu's attentions despite the fact that her parents disapprove and that the village considers him a rogue. The novel begins with a rapturous description of the countryside and then a conversation between Lallu and his father. Lallu challenges his father by championing change and criticizing tradition. Lallu sees the discrimination between caste and religion but doesn't approve of it. He freely plays with kids of other caste. One day, when he decides to take some sweets from a Muslim man's shop, he is reprimanded by the priest of the village and he gets a haircut as a punishment. At his elder brother's engagement, Lallu is falsely accused of molesting a girl and again he is punished and his face is blackened by the villagers and he is made to parade on a donkey. Lallu's father is Nihal and mother Gugri. Lallu also has two older brothers, Sharam, who is married to Kesari, and the second brother is Dayal. This is a typical peasant family in Punjab. They are Sikhs who work in the land. Lallu is educated in English at a Christian school and becomes a social rebel. Lallu sees the depreciations of the local money lender who deceives Lallu's uncle. He criticizes his father's blind faith in the local religious leader Mahanath Nandgir, especially when Nandgir is caught red-handed having sex with Lallu's sister-in-law Kesari. Hercules Long, a British army officer, organizes the village boys as scouts and makes Lallu their leader. When Lallu dares to play with a young girl Maya, the daughter of a rich landowner, that man plans to ruin Lallu's family. Lallu is accused by the landlord of theft and by the police for obstructing them while trying to arrest a man in another village. In order to escape arrest, Lallu decides to enlist in the British Indian Army. Lallu learns that the British government is willing to offer free farmland to soldiers who are ready to go to Europe and fight for England against the Germans in World War I. He thinks on returning he will get his own farmland and will be able to help his family return their debt and thus decides to go to fight for the Allied forces. As he is standing in a queue to have his medical examination, a policeman arrives and tells the soldiers to arrest him. Just before the handcuffs are slapped on him, however, a British officer enters the room and asks what is going on. The police explain, but Lallu is able to convince a British officer, impressing him with his excellent English, and he has been falsely accused because he dared to make friends with the landlord's daughter. The British officer orders Lallu to go free and also allows him to get enlisted. Having escaped from the police, Lallu now faces the rigors of the army. He, like the other recruits, suffers insults and physical deprivations, but Lallu has also created a problem for himself by telling a lie when he enlisted. What is that lie is, in order to reject his background and escape arrest, he cut off his long hair, which is traditionally among the Sikhs, and he claimed he was from a Hindu caste. Luckily, the army just warns him that he will be watched and that he must prove himself worthy of a soldier's uniform. After a few weeks of training, Lalu hears that his father is dying and goes home to see him. Back in the village, he also finds that his uncle has been cheated by the moneylender and his family has succumbed to the burden of debt. Most of his kinmen had lost their small land holdings to the landlord and the moneylender. His eldest brother was charged with murdering the landlord's son and was hanged. Nigal Singh, who couldn't bear the loss, died of heart failure. Now the only surviving member of Lalu's family is Lalu and his middle brother. And his middle brother, who was to have been married when Lalu left home, couldn't bear the ruin and he turned ascetic and left the village. After his father dies, Lalu returns to his barracks. A few weeks later, it is announced that Indian divisions will be sent to Europe to fight the Germans. Lalu joins his regiment to the docks in Karachi, where he inspects a huge ship that will take him across the black waters and into the front lines of war in Europe. And here ends the novel. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.